what's happening, everybody? Tuned in to an episode of Off the Yard. I'm your host, Big Lance, and today we're talking about two white inmates, man, that went crazy and took out one of their own, man. Grab the popcorn, put the kids to bed, and let's go, baby. Gladiator game, gladiator game, gladiator game. I'm Big Lance. Tuned in to Off the Gladiator game, gladiator game, gladiator game. I'm Big Lance. Tuned in. Man, I tell you what, I met some real sick puppies in the penitentiary. Some real sick puppies. I met dudes that they just shouldn't be allowed back on the street. I read the comments, man. A lot of people talk about, all you ever talk about is well, that's all y'all want to watch, right? I say, at the end of the day, this is my job. So I'm going to try to switch it up, man, and see how it goes. See if I can talk about something a little bit different than. Anyway, bro. First and foremost, man, I want to say what's up to everybody. Hope everyone's doing really well out there. I myself can't complain. And even if I did, would you really care? I don't think so, man. You know, the way you represent yourself, conduct yourself in prison is very important. Why? Because somebody's always watching. Somebody's always watching. And we as human beings are tribal by nature. We're very tribal. We want to belong to something. We want to click up, want to do all the things. Somebody in the comment was like, I don't really understand what all this the thing is. What that is I'm representing how people lock up and do gang signs, gang handshakes. For people that don't know what that is, it's my little joke at all the things. Guys running around here, I see videos of dudes running. You look like you have epilepsy. You ever seen with somebody that's like, just can't sit still, like someone that's on ice? And they're like, it looks stupid. Anyway, that being said, I got that off my chest, man. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. I do want to say that I myself don't follow politics very much. I believe in this country. I love America. I do. I love the idea of America. I hate our government. I don't believe in it. I don't care what side you're on. Republican, Democrat, whatever. Liberal, not, conservative. It's so ridiculous, and your vote doesn't matter. It's already decided before we vote. Our government is corrupt, and at best, it's nothing good about it. They're all in it for themselves. You know, a long time ago, we the people stood on what government stood for. Was, you know, they listened to us. They work for us. A lot of people forget about that, including them. Anyway, we ain't going to talk about that, are we? That being said, there was a little group that started back in the 90s, right? Well, in our prison system started. It's an age-old group called Odinism, Massacre. And Massacre and Odinism is basically Norse pagan religion, right? You got a lot of guys that call themselves hammer holders. I used to have a hammer. And unfortunately, I stopped wearing it because it was just getting so correlated with Aryan groups and racial tension would brew. Still does. So instead of having an Aryan Brotherhood in Virginia, what they started doing was this Massacre Odinist religion, right? And basically it's pagan, and they do like witchcraft stuff and certain aspects of it, not all of them. Some people just hold the hammer, believe in, you know, the earth, and it's actually a pretty beautiful way of life. You know, they talk about Thor and Odin. Now, if you truly understand Odinism and pagan beliefs, they don't really think that Thor's riding around on a chariot with a goat or whatever. It's not that. They take the stories from the Massacre Edda, and that is, they use them as parables and ways to live their life. Now, other people are extremists. You always have extremists. Just like you have Islam. Islam is a gang in prison, trust me. The Muslim community is a gang. Everything's a gang. Okay? All the things. All things, man. So these guys was at Augusta State Prison. I believe the year was about 2000, 2001. You can look this story up. I'm going off of what I was informed by the inmates that were actually there, not the news reports. I myself was not there. But I'm going to tell you a story about some guys that took this religion and went a little too far with it. So basically what the situation is that these people, like I said, are going, they're extremists. They have these hateful beliefs in their heart. Then they're going to take something that somebody fought very hard to get. If you think that it was easy to get this religious group started in the Virginia Department of Corrections, it was not. It was very difficult to get this going. Now, the original guys that started it, they really were Ossatures, man. They were Odinists. They believed in that, the culture and the farming and all the earthly. I know these guys. I know who started it. They weren't Aryan resistance guys. They weren't Aryan Brotherhood guys. They weren't, all the things. They weren't doing that dumb shit. Now, what they were doing was allowing multiple individuals to join the group. And this is just like anything else, man. You gotta, what I say in my last video, you must be aware of who you allow in your tip, who you allow at your table. You never let a snake sit at your table, because what they did to them, they'll do to you. That's a fact. A snake never gets a plate. Never gets a plate. These guys were letting all the snakes come in and they were doing all the things. Okay, so the original guys were they weren't militant. They weren't violent people. These other individuals were. They had hate in their heart. They started getting the Swazis on them. They started getting these patches. They were creating these Aryan patches. Virginia Aryan stuff, right? And they called it religion. But the administration and the Department of Corrections may be dumb or blind, but we're not. Inmates are always watching. They knew these guys. They were in pods. They were in the yard. They heard them talk. They heard the racial tension in their voice and the fear in their hearts. Most of these guys, and I'm talking from my state. I'm not talking out west. I'm not talking about Texas and Cali and Oklahoma or North Dakota somewhere. All I know is what I know about here. And these dudes were soft ass baby shit. They get smacked around because of their stupid racial mouths and they get beat up all the time. All they really did was drugs and they didn't believe in shit. Straight up. And it made other white dudes look bad because every white dude ain't soft and every white dude ain't on that dumb shit. Right? There was a couple dudes, there was a group of them that were in this thing that were really kind of out there, man. They had a lot of weird witchcraft stuff on, tattooed on them. And you can tell a lot about a person by what they tattoo on their bodies. And these dudes had the weird runes and different weird Blair Witch Project signs on them. I don't know. It was weird cats, man. And the reason I know what they had on them, I do know these individuals because later on, 15 years later, I was in a facility with a couple of them. That being said, one thing they do in these religions back in the day was sacrifices. Animal sacrifices, I'm guessing human sacrifices as well. Not really too sure, didn't get into it that deep, but these guys obviously did. Now, they started to talk amongst themselves, man. Listen, we're going to take this to another level. They're too scared to really go at the other races because they'll get dusted. All right? So they had to make some sort of statement because they were starting to be treated with disrespect. Right? And the reason they started going to this thing was because they thought they would get them some sort of respect. They thought they would make them look tough. All the things. But the harder they tried, the worse off it got. Maybe they should have just stopped trying. Maybe they should have just been themselves. Maybe they should just let all that dumb shit go, done their time, and gone home. Took a class or something. Learned how to be a barber or a welder. Or maybe got a GED or got a job in the kitchen. No, these idiots decide they're going to go down there and they start to build an altar. The only reason you build an altar is what? To either pray to it or to sacrifice something on it. Now, the head dude of the Ossetru thing, I forget what they're called. There's a name for him, high priest or some weird shit like that. But I don't know. I myself I believe in God, and I know a lot about Christianity. I read the Bible. I don't know about a lot of other things, so I do apologize. Maybe I should do my homework a little bit better. But to me, you start building altars and shit. There's really, I try to ignore that. They start to build this altar. Now, the only person or people that they can even get their weight up on would be their own, another weak dude like them. So what these guys did was they picked somebody in their own group. They picked an individual that they're supposed to be brothers with. He's going down to the class. He's learning how to be one of them. Sorry, guys. I have this thing called trigger finger. And they're like locks. God, it hurts, man. Woo! Anyway. Sorry. This guy lives with him. They eat together. They make meals together. They go down to their religious group together. Well, they go down, when you do these religious classes or whatever, you have to go to the classroom. You don't do it in the pod. You don't do it in a cell. There's specific rooms down in this school area where they do reentry and counseling and GEDs and all the things. They have religious groups down there. It's where the Nation of Islam goes, the 5%ers go, the Yahweh guys go, the dudes with the hats and the little thing on top. There's all types of all the things going on down there, right? Well, they go down there for class. All of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. And they put this altar to good use. And they hit this dude, I think it was 68 times. 68 times, man. For whatever reason. There's a lot of speculation. Some say dude had bad charges. Some say it was just whatever. Some say this. I wasn't there. The only people that know for sure what went on was the people that was in that classroom. But one thing about it, two things for certain, man. That young man is gone. Up out of here. Do believe that they gave these boys the death sentence? I'm pretty sure. They ended up getting executed for this crime. Because that's what it is, a crime. Guys, I don't care if you're an inmate or a CO. You're a human being and you have human rights. Unless you did something to a child. And even then, I guess society says you have rights. I believe that they don't. You hurt a child, your rights are gone. But most people have human rights, basic human rights. And one of those basic human rights is the right to life. People are so thirsty to belong, to be accepted, to join because they're scared to walk by themselves on their own. That they will sign up for the first thing that looks attractive to them when they come to the penitentiary. They don't wait and see. They don't hear. They don't listen to anybody. They're so ready to be accepted because it's all they talk about in prison is tribal gang bullshit. And that's what it is, bullshit. Because at the end of the day, you're either doing two things. You're either getting some dude at the top of the food chain money while you eat scraps, or you are martyring yourself for some dude's beliefs that you don't even know him. He's spitting out all this shit to you and you don't even know this person. But you're ready to take 68 stab wounds because you wanted to be accepted. Well, welcome to prison. Because it happens every day. It's not anything new. It's been happening since prisons was started. Since the day the prison started, there's always been some sort of tribal communities in there. Why? Well, some say, oh, it's for protection. Well, somebody started it and somebody was hurting people. That's why protection groups get started. But what happens to those protection groups? They turn into gangs. If you're in a prison gang, a street gang, the mafia, the cartel, whatever, they're going to always preach a few things to you, man. They're going to preach the loyalty, the brotherhood, the love, the knowledge, the wisdom, in our case, it was the power overall. POA. Power overall. Right? The all-seeing eye. Right? The all-seeing eye. The family. They're not going to talk to you about the martyring. They're not going to talk to you about the consequences. They're not going to talk to you about the potential life-threatening situations that you're going to be in all the time. They're not going to tell you that the minute you sign on, you got a target on your back, even from your own guys. Listen, man, take it from me. I was him. I was the individual getting these dudes to sign on. And it wasn't that hard. I'm talking to parents. I'm talking to people who are maybe on their way to prison. Listen to me when I tell you. There's a lot of dudes just like me waiting on you there. And they'll turn your 5 years into 20 real fast. Get you slammed down in a box for the rest of your life. And then turn their back on you. That is a fact. Or you might end up on a freaking altar somewhere in a classroom. Where did that... What? Can't make this shit up, man. Do yourself a favor, man. Do yourself a favor. Learn how to walk on your own 10. If you want to join some type of organization, look into the military or something. Go join the Kiwanis Club. I don't know. But prison gangs, that ain't it. Street gangs, sure as hell ain't it. Call me what you want, man. Call me what you want. At the end of the day, the best way to be is stay up, stay out. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, stay sucker free, man. I hope you enjoyed the story today. I know it was a little bit graphic and all kind of at the end, but I'm passionate about this stuff, man. Much love to the Gladiator gang. Salute to all the A1s from day one, man. I love you guys. I don't want to see you go down them roads I went. I talk about these stories and I tell them on here and talk about my life and the shit that I had to go through so you don't have to. All right? Like, there's another content creator that says, you know I done lived it, you know I done done it. Well, so have I. And I'm here to tell you, I'm the real deal. You should take my advice. Till next time, man. Peace.